The Kingdom Hearts games have some of the most interesting titles for any video game series out there. I mean, one looks like it almost has a maths equation. Bro, this is just a symbol. How do I pronounce that? Birth by sleep? Finna must have been on some crazy drugs. Today we're going to be explaining the meaning behind all of the Kingdom Hearts titles. Kingdom Hearts 1, 2, and 3 are self-explanatory, but the actual name of the game is important to a specific entity throughout the series known as Kingdom Hearts, a heart-shaped moon. It's the heart of all worlds, the ultimate source of both light and darkness, said to contain tremendous power. Xehanort's plan throughout all of the main Kingdom Hearts games was to use Kingdom Hearts' power in order to reset the entire universe so that it can start anew with a perfect balance of light and darkness. This moon is the Omega Ultra entity throughout all of the games, hence why the actual game series is named after it. Chain of Memories is smartly titled. It refers to how Sora, Donald, and Goofy slowly lose their memories throughout Castle Oblivion. This is due to the organization enslaving Naminé, the nobody of Kairi, who has the ability to reconstruct memories. The goal here was for the organization to eventually enslave Sora through the means of reconstructing his memory, as the members that were sent to Castle Oblivion had plans to overthrow the rest of the organization and wanted Sora to do their bidding. The game follows Sora, Donald, and Goofy retreading back through their adventure of Kingdom Hearts 1, basically exploring all of those experiences in a chain-like sequence. Reverse/Rebirth is so important to the changing point of Riku's character. Reverse refers to the events of Riku's side of the Chain of Memories story, and Rebirth is the key word for Riku's changing point. This is his journey of overcoming the darkness that dwells within inside of him that was planted by Ansem the Seeker of Darkness, learning to properly control the darkness and use it for the greater good. The end of Chain of Memories for Riku, where he walks the Road of Dawn, is absolutely pivotal to his character that we see today in Kingdom Hearts, and truly symbolizes that he's making his way towards the light, which is visually represented in this ending scene with the light on the horizon. This is the story about Riku's rebirth. Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, the most infamous of all Kingdom Hearts titles. As much as this title is absolutely confusing for someone that doesn't know the story here, this is kind of genius on Nomura's part. This refers to Roxas's time spent in Organization 13, almost a complete full year. We know that there's 365 days in a year, so why is it 358? If we add 7 to this, that makes up 365. The remaining 7 days here is what we see at the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2, the 7 days that Roxas is within Data Twilight Town. So 358 is just simply the amount of days spent in Organization 13. The bracket 2, though, is in reference to both Roxas and Xion, the experience of these days spent between two people. Kingdom Hearts Coded is probably the most basic of all of the game's titles. Taking place right after the events of Kingdom Hearts 2, Jiminy Cricket, who had been accompanying Sora, Donald, and Goofy throughout all of their adventures so far, had recorded these experiences within his journal. Through discovering that there was a line in the journal that he didn't write, "Their hurting will be mended when you return to end it," Mickey decides to upload the journal into the cloud, which sends us on a journey throughout the Datascape, a retreading through the adventures of Kingdom Hearts 1 yet again, but this time as Data Sora, to uncover a hidden coded message that might hold some kind of clue to that of returning lost Keyblade wielders. Coded simply refers to how Sora is the key to return all of these lost people. Looking at the Kingdom Hearts games that have "re" in the title, this simply just signifies that these games are a remake for the likes of Coded and Chain of Memories. Birth by Sleep is an interesting title name. At first, you would sort of assume that this title has more direct reference to Ventus than it does Aqua and Terra. As we know, the darkness that resided within Ventus's heart, a darkness that had crept into his heart from the events of Union Cross, a Kingdom Hearts game that takes place many years in the ancient era of Kingdom Hearts before that of Birth by Sleep, was extracted by Xehanort to take on physical form, to essentially assist Xehanort and his grand plan to becoming Vanitas. Because of the extraction, it left Ventus's heart fragmented, leaving him in a comatose zombie-like state. Through Ventus connecting with a young Sora, the light of Sora's heart started to mend that small part of Ventus's heart that had become fragmented. However, at the end of Birth by Sleep, when Ven defeats Vanitas, his heart once again becomes unstable, resulting in Ven going into a permanent comatose. Ventus was left for about 10 years within the Chamber of Waking, while his heart slowly healed within inside of Sora's. This is one of Sora's greatest abilities, the fact that he can bring hearts back and heal them. So you could say that the term birth by sleep is referring to Ventus slowly healing whilst he's asleep. However, Ansem the Wise more accurately explains the term of birth by sleep in the Blank Points secret ending for BBS Final Mix. It would seem that birth by sleep is that exact ability that Sora has, the ability to mend hearts, and that for all of the Keyblade wielders who had lost their lives looking at Aqua, Terra, and Ventus, they are essentially waiting for their birth by sleep, so that one day they can eventually be brought back, which we know they eventually did through Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance is another genius title by Nomura. The 3D in the title refers to how the game is on the Nintendo 3DS, being that it has 3D capabilities, but also the actual title of this Kingdom Hearts game is made up of 3 Ds. Dream refers to how Sora and Riku take on the Mark of Mastery diving into the realm of sleep to save worlds that are in a deep sleep phase. These are worlds that have previously been destroyed by the Heartless, however, rather than winding up in the realm of darkness, they became disconnected from the realms of light and darkness and wound up in a dreamlike limbo state. So Sora and Riku are quite literally navigating through a dream. The drop in the title likely refers to how they're dropping into a dream, but can also refer to the actual gameplay system here in the game. You've got the drop meter, which after a certain amount of time will force the player into playing as the other character, constantly switching between Sora and Riku throughout the experience of DDD. Distance is an interesting one. Some might say that it's the lengths that both Sora and Riku go to take on their Mark of Mastery, as it's quite an unusual Mark of Mastery exam compared to the typical. However, I do believe that it's more in reference to just how far these two go in this dreamlike state into the realm of sleep, especially looking at Riku, who dived into Sora's heart when he was sent into a comatose state by young Xehanort. 3D Dream Drop Distance perfectly encapsulates the system that the game originally released on, the gameplay systems that are in the game itself, and the actual plot. Kingdom Hearts Key, originally released back in 2013 for Japan only on browsers. Like Days, a pretty confusing Kingdom Hearts title to look at because it's like, how do I pronounce a symbol? Explained in Birth by Sleep, this symbol, known as the recusance sigil, is actually an ancient Greek letter, which in English refers to key or kai. In this sense, for Kingdom Hearts, it is key. Xehanort does explain in Birth by Sleep that the key symbol can also be a symbol for death, a symbol of endings. And thinking about the tragic ending of Key, how Daybreak Town is lost, the Keyblade War ensues, and basically everyone dies, this makes sense for why the game is called Kingdom Hearts Key. Xehanort also tells us that this is an ancient letter, so it is derived from ancient times, which Kingdom Hearts Key takes place in. This entire arc of this time period of Kingdom Hearts is referred to by Nomura as the Key arc, the Key saga. You can basically look at Kingdom Hearts Key as Kingdom Hearts 0. It is the origin point for all Kingdom Hearts games. Unchained Key is the retelling of the Key story, but there are some differences here. This was the game that made it so that we could now finally experience the Key story, but on our mobile phones and worldwide. Unchained refers to the fact that this version of the Key story is no longer chained to exactly what happens at the end of Key, where the Keyblade War ensues and essentially everyone dies. This is a retelling of the Key story, just without the tragic conclusion of the Keyblade War, and that everything that's taking place in this version of Key is happening within the realm of Unchained. The realm of Unchained is basically a data recreation of the entirety of Daybreak Town and all of the events that happened within the original version. This was set up by the Master of Masters so that Ava, one of his apprentices, could form a group known as the Dandelions. These Keyblade wielders would be sent into this data version of the world so that they would live on past the events of Kingdom Hearts Key. Kingdom Hearts Union Cross then tells the story of this new version of Daybreak Town, the new events that never transpired throughout the story of Kingdom Hearts Key, with now having new new Keyblade wielders in place of that of the foretellers to run each of the unions. The title of Union Cross refers to how this story now takes place around the 5 new union leaders: Ephemer, Scold, Ventus Brain, and Laurium. However though, the term Union Cross was a law that was written in the rules that the 5 new union leaders had to follow. Union Cross is the law that states that these survivors must diverge from the original events to avoid another Keyblade war and to ensure the survival of Keyblade wielders to come. Kingdom Hearts Key back cover takes place around the time of Kingdom Hearts Key, but having a direct focus on the foretellers. The back cover portion of this title likely refers to how when you flip a book over and read the back of the cover, it gives you a very brief synopsis on the story. That's essentially what Key back cover does and what it was trying to aim for, giving a very basic understanding of that time period, but in an HD format. This is the first time we got to see the Key saga represented in an HD format, being included in 2.8. Kingdom Hearts Dark Road. Dark Road refers to how Xehanort would have to walk the path of darkness in order to achieve his goals, using the darkness as a means to restore the worlds to perfect equilibrium. In the grand scheme of things, Xehanort's goal isn't actually a totally horrible one. It's just everything that he needs to do in order for this goal to come to fruition is slightly terrible. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. It's hard to give a definitive answer towards Missing Link, as this game hasn't even released yet, but we can assume that the reason why Missing Link is the chosen title for this game is because the narrative that takes place for this Kingdom Hearts game is a piece of Kingdom Hearts' history within the timeline of the story that has been erased. It is the missing link of the history. Missing Link takes place between the stories of Union Cross and Dark Road. There is a blank gap there, and there's something that happened within this part of the story that completely erased any traces of this time era existing. We have a feeling that it might have something to do with our player character being dubbed as the Clemituous Star. However, only time will tell. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory refers to how Ansem the Wise dives into the memories of Kairi in order to find clues to where Sora has ended up after the events of Kingdom Hearts 3. The melody side of it is to do with the game itself, being that it is a rhythm game. The Kingdom Hearts HD Remix bundles are pretty self-explanatory, though very confusing for people that don't understand Kingdom Hearts. HD is obviously referring to how this is an HD remaster, but looking at the numbers, considering they start getting into the decimal points here, 1.5 includes 3 games: Kingdom Hearts 1, Days, and Chain of Memories. Kingdom Hearts 1 counting as 1, Days and Chain of Memories counting as 0.25, adding up to a total of 1.5. Kingdom Hearts 2.5 includes Kingdom Hearts 2, Birth by Sleep, and Coded. The same can be said for this equation. We've got Kingdom Hearts 2, and then the other 2 games acting as 0.25. adding to a total of 2.5. 2.8 is when people started to get PTSD of 358 over 2 days. This one's a little harder to understand, but it was officially confirmed by Nomura that Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance can't be considered as Kingdom Hearts 2.6. Key back cover can be considered as Kingdom Hearts 0, and that 0.2 Birth by Sleep is, well, 0.2. We're left with a total of 2.8. The final chapter prologue portion of the title refers to how the games included in this bundle are the final story installments before Kingdom Hearts 3, wrapping up the Dark Seeker saga. And lastly, Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, yet another interesting Kingdom Hearts title. People were expecting Final Mix, but rather we got this. Remind with an interesting looking symbol. The symbol here is known as a coda symbol, which is used in sheet music. When the symbol appears on sheet music, it's telling the performer to skip to this portion of the sheet. Taking into account everything that happens in Remind's story, how Sora travels back in time to ensure all of his friends don't perish by using the power of waking, Recoda Mind tells us that Sora must be reminded of the events that happened, and to basically skip that entire portion and do it differently, which is exactly what he does. Only for him to perish and find himself in Tokyo, Japan. Nice. So that is all of the Kingdom Hearts titles explained. Hopefully for any of you guys who may have been confused on a few of them, that's given you a better idea as to why some Kingdom Hearts games were titled the way they are. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Be sure to subscribe to keep up with everything that's going on here. Check out my other social media platforms. A big thank yous to my wonderful patrons. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and we'll talk real soon.